guys, so let's analyze the markets here. So looking at the market right now, this is the S&P 500, so SPY ETF right now. Looking at the S&P 500, we're in a critical level here. We're above the 448, which was a big level for me, so which was right about here. So we got above that. We had this nice test, pull back, and now it's testing this level again at 450. If we can get through 453, then what I want to do is I want to look for how price reacts around 457. This will be a big level. If we finish March above 458, this is like a really big setup here that's coming up for us. So especially looking at the monthly candle, this would be a really strong close for us, especially if we're looking at the week now. This last week was really strong, and this week we are okay. But if we do get a rejection, this is something to pay attention to. If we get a rejection in this big area and it fails and it comes back down towards here, this is setting up a head and shoulder pattern. Okay, so be ready for multiple scenarios. But if we get above 457 and we close above it, yeah, we're going all the way above 480, no problem. But until we do that, I'm still seeing some headwinds. I'm not really sure if this is going to pan out fully, but a test of 480 is likely if we close above this price. But for now, this play is panning out perfectly fine. We get about 457, this head and shoulder pattern fails, and we move on. Okay, so let's look at the triple Q here. Triple Q is doing really good right now. However, Triple Q has a lot more room to grow, as it was in a bear market correction, right? So in bear markets, we do have rallies as well. So don't get confused and think the bull market's coming back here. There's a long way to go before the bull market's in. So if we look at here, clearly a demand zone is set at 328 and 315. If this level holds, we're gonna go to all-time highs around 370. If that level of support holds, if price can get above that and hold that level, is what we want to see. Right now we're getting some pullbacks. We are getting buyers coming in. If you look at the volume over the past few days, it's been dominated by buyers here, right? So this is what we want to pay attention to, domination by buyers. So I personally am bearish right now until 370 is broken. Until that happens, I'm not going to fully turn bullish, but right now buyers are in control, so I'm not going to argue with the momentum. The momentum is on the bullish scenario on the short term. Okay, so that's something to pay attention to. So right now the Qs are fine. They could rally really hard, but if we also look at the sectors here, semiconductors led, you got communications in the lead. All the defensive sectors are down in this area down here. Okay, so that's something to pay attention to. So the defensive sectors are not really up there. Okay, so XLE is a defensive sector. That's something to pay attention to. Okay, what XLE does is going to be important for us in the coming weeks. Okay, so XLE is energy, so even energy was up a bit, so that's a little bit concerning to me when I see energy up. So if we look at oil, right, the oil sector is still up. It's still got a good amount of bulls up here, but if you see, the volume is starting to decline. So if we look at this sector, okay, if we need sellers to come in and money to rotate from energy, utilities, all those simple sectors or defensive sectors into something that's more growth based, like XLK, like tech. If we look at tech right now, tech is breaking out of this wedge right now. It's going to this area, but we need more flow in this, because if tech fails, if this sector fails, we're going to see a big correction coming into triple Qs, obviously, right, for obvious reasons. So we need XLE to kind of pan out. We need XLU, okay, which is the utilities. So the utilities sector right here, it's still holding strong. That's the thing, right? So utilities is still up here. So if money is going to go back into growth and the economy is really going to go back into recovery, we need to pay attention to this. Okay, so let's look at the Dow Jones, for example. The Dow Jones also consolidation zone here, right? Trying to break out. The markets are all moving in sync. There's nothing that's going on in the markets that's you could say that's not foreseen right now, but for right now, breakouts are happening. That's great, but if you just gotta pay attention to these levels, right? So we got a low here, we got a low here, and we got a low here. So this is still pressure to the downside, right? So even though we're finding some supports here, These are new lows that are being set every time the stock rallies. So it rallies here, comes back down, sets a new low, and now it rallies. Now what it does here is going to be more important. So our buyers are going to come in, or our sellers are going to come in. So if we look at S&P 500, we can see that there's a low, clear defined low here, a defined low here, right? So these are lower highs. This is a lower low, and a lower low. But what it does here is what remains to be seen, okay? We need to see what it does on these levels. All right, so we'll see what happens with this. And even with the Dow Jones, we'll see what happens with that. And the IWM is consolidating in this area. So if it can get above it and close, that's something that we want to see to get bullish on it. Otherwise, we got, not a lot is going to happen for us, okay? So that's something to keep an eye on. So we need IWM to get up here, bounce, and then test that level and bounce, and then go above. Otherwise, we're going to see a fail and a break of 188, and it's going to go towards about 175-ish, okay? So we're going to go back and test this level. So there's something to be careful of. The other thing is gold. Gold is not losing momentum as well. My level is 175 on GLD. This is holding really well. Comes back to test it. Remember, when anything tries to break, it does come back to retest. We're seeing, this candle right here. There's a lot of sellers over here, so buyers do need to come in, consolidate, and push. But the fact that this level is holding, this could be ready for a bigger breakout on a bigger time frame. So pay attention to that. The other thing is the 10 years. The 10 years are rising, and they're gone back above the 2019 level, okay? So that's something to pay attention. The 10-year yields are not coming down yet, so keep in mind of that, okay? So the 10 years are still rising. They should be gradually coming down as the market's gonna, go back up. But they haven't been to these levels in quite a while. So last time they were at these levels was around 2016, and then the highest was around 2018, okay? So just pay attention to this, okay? And we'll see what happens with the market. But so far, right now, even though the market did rally with semiconductors, with tech a little bit, there's still a lot more room to play, and the money's still holding the defensive sectors. The energy's still holding, man. Right? If we look at XLE, the energy just consolidating in the zone. So it's not completely giving up here. So that's something to be aware of. So just keep in mind of that. And also commodities. Commodities are also holding this level here. This is a long supply zone that was set back in 2011. Okay, so the fact that we're in this level and we're consolidating in the zone, it's possible that price is being accepted. If you guys see, there's huge amounts of buying in here, right? So we want to be aware of this. Okay, so this is just the ETF that tracks commodities, so just be aware of that. All right, so going over to Bitcoin. Bitcoin now, let's go over to their daily chart here. Bitcoin breaking out of this triangle. I got this level right here, 45,775. If this breaks above this and retest holds, we're gonna go back to 52,000. Okay, if the retest fails, we got support all the way over here. Okay, around 38,500. So it's something to keep in mind of. Ethereum, same thing, breaking out, just rolling together. So we'll see if Ethereum breaks out the 32,000, 3,300 level and breaks out to the upside. And then XRP is another one I'm watching. XRP looks like it's setting up here, right? So, it could have a quick break on the upside here, okay? So we'll see how XRP pans out in the coming weeks. And then Cardano is another one that's turning here. So Cardano, I'm not really following too closely, but we'll see how it does. But for now, Bitcoin is looking like it's going to break up. So crypto could go for a run here, okay? So also in the commodities, we got natural gas on the rise. So this is something to pay attention to. If natural gas continues to move up, stocks like LNG could do really well, okay? So the fact is, commodities are rising. That's defensive. Bitcoin, crypto is rising, which is acting defensive. XLE, XLU, utilities, all the defensive sectors are still holding. So I'm not too confident on this rally until we see the money flush out to the other side. All right, so we'll see how the next week goes. Trade safe, just be careful, trade your levels, and even if your level hits, enter based on your levels. Just don't try to enter just because you want to, all right?